The first question is a square pyramid. So again, remember the volume formula for a pyramid is going to be 1/3 area of the base times how tall the pyramid is. So this is 96 inches to the third power, or cubic inches. Pretty good on number 1. Okay, here's number 2. Here is a cone. So again, same formula, 1/3 area of the base times how tall it is, but what's different here is my base shape is a circle. So my capital B is pi r squared. So 1/3 pi r squared height, and this is 1,152 pi. Pretty good on that one. Okay. Next, it wants us to find the volume of the cube after the cone is removed. So what I need to do is find the volume of the cube and the volume of the cone and subtract them. Now, if it were left in terms of pi, this would be the answer right here. However, if you're using your calculator, then we would use the pi button, actually subtract it, and you would get 2,321.10 millimeters cubed. So again, when you're taking the test, just read the instructions. It'll tell you if it needs to be rounded or if it's left in terms of pi. Pretty good on that one. Okay, number 4. This time they're giving us the volume of a right cone. They didn't give us a picture, so I drew one. They gave us the volume and they gave us the height. So we needed to find the radius. So again, formula for volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared height. So I replaced all of the variables with what I knew, and then I solved for r. Now what I ended up doing here at this step was I rounded 63.99 to 64 and then square rooted it. You could have probably also done 63.99 and then square rooted that. Oops, let's see, and you would have gotten, 63.99, you would have gotten 7.99, and then you could have rounded it to 8 either way. Pretty good on that. All right, let's go over the homework. And I'll zoom into each one because I know it's kind of tiny. So let me show you 3 and 4 first. Notice the instructions are telling you to round to 2 decimal places. So for the first one, we really didn't need to round. It was just 50 centimeters cubed. Now over here, I left number 4 as a fraction, but if you divided this, you could have also gotten 433 and 1/3 pi. If you multiplied that number by pi, then you also got 1361.37. Oh, sorry, 36. So either way. So again, just read the directions on how it wants you to leave it. Number 5, this one, if you divide 40 by 3, you would get 13 and 1/3 inches cubed, or 13.3. Now, a lot of times when it's repeating, you should really just leave it as a mixed number. Don't write it as a repeating decimal, unless they tell you to round. If they say to round to 2 decimal places, this would have been 13.33. Number 7, question?
Oh, I was just going to ask for the third one, but then I saw it. No, it's fine.
Okay. All right, now here's 6 and 7. So for 6, remember the height, even though the cone looks like it's slanted, they're giving us this height outside here because it's always like a perpendicular distance. So then we just plug it into the formula, the 1/3 pi r squared height, and it's 2/3 pi. Now, if you went ahead and multiplied 2/3 times pi, you would have gotten 2.09. meters cubed. Number 7, this one they gave us everything we needed. It was a triangular pyramid, and here we would find the area of the base, which is 3 times 4 divided by 2, and then multiply it by the height, and you get 6 inches cubed. Number 8, this is a hexagonal pyramid. So I took out the base and drew the hexagon. Now notice this triangle right here. If I pull it out, remember this central angle up at the top is 60. So when I draw down this apothem, that's going to make that a 30, and then the 60's over here. And they gave us the side length, which was 12. So this becomes 6 and 6. So this is supposed to be x. This is x root 3. And this is 2x. So my apothem is going to be 6 root 3. And that's how I got what was up there. So you're going to do the 1/2 ANS to find the area of the base, and then multiply it by how tall it is. Now, if you went ahead and found out what the square root of 3 is, and then times that by the 1,224, and round that to 2 decimal places, you would have gotten 2,120.03. So rounded to 2 decimal places, that would have been the answer. Number 12 and 13. This time we're looking for a missing piece. So they already gave us the volume calculated on both questions. So we had to plug in what the volume was and then set it equal to the formula. X here is the height of the pyramid. So then you would work backwards. Over here, X is the radius. So again, formula for volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared height. Set it equal to the total volume they gave you, and then the radius is 6. So both answers here are both 6. One was centimeters, one was inches. Pretty good on that one? All right, next page. Number 15. We've got a cone, and here it wants us to find the volume of the cone. However, we didn't know what the radius length was. So what we had to do was form a triangle here with the height and the radius. And then we're going to pull it out. Notice they gave us a 60-degree angle. Now, we could call this, instead of an A, because I know sometimes the A confuses people, we could do this as x, x root 3, and 2x. So over here, they had already given us this to be 22. So x square root 3 equals 22. Solve for x by dividing. So this x down here is 22 divided by root 3. And then we could divide that, and then that's how you get the 1270. 12.7. And then plug it into the formula, the 1/3 pi r squared height. And then number 20. Over here, we need to find the volume of the top cone and then the volume of the cylinder. So it's like a complex shape. So you're going to do 2 volumes and then add the answers. So if you're leaving it in terms of pi, it's 72 pi. I know the instructions said 2 decimal places. So then that answer would have been 226.19. Number 22, here are 2 cones. So you're going to find the volume of the top cone and then this bottom little cone. Once you get the 2 volumes, you're going to add them. You needed to find a common denominator. The common denominator was 12. So left in terms of pi, the answer is 3/4 pi. However, rounded to 2 decimal places, you'll multiply 3/4 times pi, and you get 2.36. And then the last one, 23. These are 2 pyramids. Notice both pyramids, they're both the same. So you would find the area of the base, which is a square, 3.3 times 3.3, and then plug it into the formula. 1/3 area of the base times the height, and then from there, double it because there's 2 of them. Anybody need me to go back to anything? All right, so your homework over the weekend is to do that test review. The first page of the test review is a formula sheet that you can fill in. Again, get yourself organized and ready to take this test next week. Actually, it's due on Tuesday because your test is Thursday. So get ready for that test on Thursday by having your formula sheet ready to go. It's open notes, you're using your calculator. And then when I see you on the Zoom call on Tuesday, I will give you more details about the test, like how many questions it is, how long you'll have, and all of that. So we'll get more details on Tuesday, but in the meantime, you're going to work on the review.